Welcome everybody to another live coaching with SASO University. If you look in the comments, I've added the link. If anybody wants to join the live call, you can do so there. What we're going to be focusing on today is definitely going to be one of the more interesting topics that we've covered in the past. Now that we are essentially getting through more and more trainings that cover some of the more rudimentary or more basic things, now we can start getting into some of the more advanced trainings. So, what we're going to be covering today is going to be focused on how you yourself can start adding in high ticket offers into your current packages. So, I'm going to very briefly cover the original packages that we recommend you start with, show you how to scale those up, but then I want to show you some ways that you can have both a high ticket setup fee and also have high ticket monthly recurring fees, of course, to your clients. So, again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always throw in some comments and questions that I will answer. Otherwise, I will go ahead and move forward with it. Now, if anything doesn't make sense, of course, feel free to interrupt me. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and jump in. So, the first thing that I want to cover is essentially going to be the original marketing plans. Now, I'll go through these very quickly because most of you are already familiar, but the reason I want to cover these is because the high ticket offers that you're going to be providing are not going to contradict or negate any of the other offers. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to complement them. And so the way I'm going to cover this is by covering essentially the initial offers and then from those offers showing you how to evolve your offer to start including some higher ticket things. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Now we know based off of the best vertical SWAS offer training that if you're brand new to this online marketing, online web creation, if you're brand new to any of this or all of this, what you're going to do is you're going to start with the marketing ascension model. Essentially, what that means is you're going to start with clients who aren't making as much money as they would like, and they're a little bit newer in the game, similar to, and this kind of mirrors your position, your very own position, really. So you're also going to be a little bit new if you're in this stage. You're also going to be trying to figure out your footing. So what's going to happen here is you're going to start with, of course, you're going to start with the first package, which is going to be the website creation, Google business profile optimization and setup, and then some light coaching on how they're going to use social media per the step 3 training, how they can do some outreach per the step 4 training, how they can do some closing per the step 5 training, and how they're going to use social proof. And of course, client testimonials and wins and before and afters and all that good stuff, how they're going to use all of that per the step 6 training to go into their business. Now, again, I'm just talking about the very initial package. So this is again very low level stuff. So what you're going to do in that model is you're going to start with the first package, which again is just website creation and GBP. Then you're going to go into organic marketing. This is the second package. So a lot of people, they're thinking there's 3 packages with the marketing ascension model. The truth is there's 4 packages with the marketing ascension model. So it's going to be website, Google Business, just having access to that plus the software, right? The CRM, the automations, and they get to mess around and play in there as a DIY package. You're going to be looking at between 97 to 297, depending on how many additional resources you're adding into it. Then we go into the organic. Organic is where you're going to start doing a fully optimized website for them. Now, this is where we can also start looking at bridging into some high ticket things. So I'm going to cover several different ways that you can start adding high ticket packages to your offer. So this isn't just one methodology. The the really cool focus is going to be the social media component, but I want to also show you some ways that you can start doing some high ticket for the packages you're already doing. So I say that to say when you get into the website creation, what you should be doing is you should be creating the website on high level itself. Why? Because when you create it on high level, they cannot take the website and run. They cannot make a snapshot and run with it. They essentially only have access to the website so long as they pay you to retain their high level subscription through your white label agency. Now, you are going to have some individuals who are going to ask, uh, they're basically going to say, I want to own the website. I don't want to rent the website. I want to own the website. And here's what you're going to do every single time. Number one, you don't lift a single finger until some kind of a trial or a contract or payment link has been signed up. You don't do anything until that's signed up for or set up. Now, and I see Naman's questions asking about ClickFunnels. I'm going to answer that in just a moment. And it's actually not going to be what he thinks, I don't think. But what you're going to do is you're going to build it in high level because it doesn't cost you anything extra. And if they want to own the website, you can build the website in one of two places. Number one, you can build it in WordPress. Why WordPress? Because WordPress is going to give you the most amount of customization. And any virtual assistant or Fiverr contractor you speak to is going to have immense knowledge with WordPress. When you're picking a software, this is my strong recommendation when you're picking any software. When you pick a software that has been around long enough for people to say, hey, this is good or not good. Pick a software that has enough resources to where if I go online or if I go on their website, they're going to have a lot of trainings and databases that are going to help me navigate using that software. Now, WordPress is open source translation. It's built by a bunch of people. So the best way that you're going to get resources is by jumping on YouTube. On the other hand, there's a bunch of different tools that have their own internal database or uh, resources page. An example would be High Level. If you go look at High Level's database, they have tons and tons of documents on how to use their software. And what's really cool is High Level also has a lot of YouTube tutorials on it. So WordPress is going to be really good because you can not only build for free in WordPress, but you can host it for just $10 a month. You can increase how much you're rebuilding the client for. So you can rebuild them for, 14, 19, up to 30 a month. I probably wouldn't go over 30 a month, but you can essentially rebuild a client. They can have the WordPress website. Now, why do we charge a setup fee with the WordPress website? Well, because they can take it and run. If you build it in WordPress, all they have to do is change the hosting provider. So when you're building anything in an account that they can take and run, and the example I'm using here is WordPress because you can host it in High Level, you have to charge a setup. The minimum setup fee that I'm going to be charging for a website, I'm not getting out of bed for 1500. I'm not, that's just, it wouldn't make sense logically to do anything less than 1500. So you need to charge at least that amount. And then again, this is in WordPress. The reason or the way that you can get to whatever your high ticket number is look at your CLV, look, and that's your client lifetime value, and then look at your monthly subscription. So, for example, if I'm charging 100 a month and I expect my client to stay with me for about 15 months on average, which usually it's much longer, but I'm just making up a hypothetical, then I know I should be getting about 1500. So I'm going to charge that up front because worst case scenario, you could build them a website. They could take it and run the very next day. So that's why we're not going to do anything without getting that paid up front, or at least getting a contract and you're getting half up front. And that'll be another training, another call where we talk about that. But I don't start anything until I have it at least a pretty sizable down payment. And when I say a sizable down payment, I'm looking at 50% for people I don't know and don't trust, or I'm looking at minimum 25% for people that I really do care about and people I've worked with in the past. So it's up to you. That's the cool part about running your own business, right? There comes a time where you get to make the decisions based on your preferences. And that's the beauty of having your own business, right? So far, it's been covering, the struggles and powering through and knowing what to do, when to do it. But there does come a time, like when you're talking about high ticket, where you get to make up the rate. Remember the step 5 training where we're using the ultimate closing framework. If they're asking you where that number comes from, the answer is this: the price is what the price is. Don't ever explain your pricing. If they can't afford it, you can trade something. So you can say, hey, I was going to build you a 10-page website. Your budget's not 1500, maybe it's 1000. Cool. Let me trade, 10 pages for 5 pages, or let me trade this for that. Or maybe I'll have this features versus that features. And then they understand what they're getting into. And of course, you can always upsell them later down the road. Now, Naman mentioned, what about ClickFunnels to qualify for the Club Award? Here's what I will say about ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels, whether you agree with me or not, ClickFunnels is going down the drain very quickly. Russell Brunson just acquired the Dan Kennedy marketing um, package, and he just completely bought out Dan Kennedy. What I will say is that the feedback from ClickFunnels is really not that great. If you look at the ClickFunnels community versus the high level community has their C suite actually just talking with Facebook members in their group, actually engaging with these individuals. They're actually applying all of the recommended suggestions that people are putting into play. So high level is doing much, much better. It's making much more advancements. ClickFunnels people are jumping ship and they're coming to high level. I've heard from multiple people that I work with that ClickFunnels 2.0 is terrible and it was not the um, improvement that they thought it would be. So I think that ClickFunnels, the only thing it has going for it is that it was one of the first in the game and it has Russell Brunson, who just acquired Dan Kennedy. In my opinion, that's the only thing that it really has going for it relative to high level. I think high level is going to surpass it. That's not just because I promote high level via an affiliate link. That's what I'm seeing. And that's kind of why I came to high levels over ClickFunnels. If you haven't used ClickFunnels, you essentially can't white label it. So every time you get a new client, it's going to cost additionally. However, if a client comes to you and says, "Hey, can you build this in my ClickFunnels website? Or can you, and I want to own the website," right? The client tells you, "I want to own the website." Then yes, you can build it in WordPress. Yes, you can build it in high level. Yes, you can build it in ClickFunnels. You can build it in Webflow. You can build it in GoDaddy's builder, which is awful. You can build it wherever you want if they are going to pay the fee that you want them to pay. And you're just going to go to Fiverr and make sure you have a contractor who can do it. I would charge a little bit extra if it's a software I've been used before, because if that Fiverr contractor messes it up, you want to be able to hire a couple extra as backups. Now, I'm currently working with a client who wants certain custom links within their sub accounts, and it's for a lender team. So they do lending for home mortgages, car loans, that kind of thing. I'm building it in high level, but I'm building it in their high level. And so because I'm building it in their high level, I'm actually not retaining anything monthly for the software. Instead, what's happening is they're paying me a flat rate. And from that flat rate, what I'm able to do is I'm able to essentially work for a six. So it's basically a 30-day contract. It was $4,000. And I'm basically just building it out in their high level account, and then they're going to pay me a retainer to basically stay on board and work with them. But because I'm not building it in my account, because they can take it and run with it, whether that's a high level account, whether that's, Webflow, ClickFunnels, WordPress, it doesn't matter. Zoho, it doesn't matter. If they request for you to build it in a location that you cannot maintain control over, positive control over, you need to charge a setup. For me, I don't get out of bed for less than 3,500. For you, I would not recommend getting out of bed for less than 1,500 if it's going to be an external thing. You can always start at 500, then 1,000, then 1,500, but I would get to that 1,500 mark very, very quickly. That's just my personal opinion and my professional experience. When you charge that amount, you don't work with people who are trying to nickel and dime you. I don't know why, but the more you charge, the better people you work with, but the slower they are to react. So that'll take time and experience. But that is the first option that you can do when you're offering high ticket, is when someone says, "Hey, will you build this for me, but I want to own it?" That's where you can say, "Oh yeah, of course. I can build it for you, but it's going to be 1,500. It's going to be 2,500. It's going to be 3,500, depending on the scope of the project." If they say, "Whoa, that's way too much for me," you can do one of two things. You can bring them back down and you can put them in your own sub account and say, "Cool, well, it could be either 3,500 one time fee, or it could be 250, 350 a month. What is more palatable for you?" We could even start with a retainer package. And if you like it, then we could upgrade and build your own website for you to take wherever you want. Or if they really want it in their own high level, guess what you're going to do? You're going to send them your high level affiliate link. They're going to sign up for it. Then you build it in there. So now what's happened is you get the setup fee and you get the back end recurring commission, except for now, instead of through Stripe, it's from high level directly to you. So that is another, essentially an option. And Naman asked in the comments, is ClickFunnels trying to be like high level? ClickFunnels is not trying to be like high level. ClickFunnels is trying to be the ultimate funnel process. The only thing that I've seen that they do well is they have a really easy IDX integration. So if you're having like a realtor or a real estate company and they're listing homes, then you can have a really easy IDX integration. I'm actually working with a realtor right now, so I will be making a video on IDX integration. But from what I'm seeing is that you can just do it with a custom embed code. So the only advantage that I saw ClickFunnels had, it's now gone away very quickly. And again, you cannot white label rather. ClickFunnels, you can't white label it. You can't have an agency. Every additional account you make is going to cost you extra. That's the beauty of high level. I pay $497 a month, and I can have as many clients as I want at no additional charge. Uh, and Naman said, "My company's all about why IDX is not good." That's hilarious. So we'll definitely, I might pull you up and see what's going on there. But I want to continue with the high ticket thing. So step one, to very quickly recap is before we move on, the first high ticket, if they want to own the website and take it wherever they want, that is going to be a high ticket option. When I say high ticket, I'm referring to anything above $1,000. I would not charge anything below 1,000 for a high ticket, except for to some degree the social media plan that I'm going to be sharing with you towards the end, which I'll get into. But if you take nothing away, nothing goes below 1,000. 1,000 is the minimum. If you want to make a random wonky number like $1,002.48, do what you want to do. But the price is what the price is. We do not trade price because someone asked. We trade price for services. And again, 1,000 is the bare minimum. If you come to me and say, "Hey, I sold the website for $500," you left money on the table. If that's all they can afford, push them to the subscription plan. Now, that again, we're talking about the 4 plans of marketing ascension model. So that's the plan, plan 1 or plan 0, however you want to look at it, the website and the GBP. So you can pay, or they can pay you a setup fee to set up the GBP along with a website that they can take wherever they want to take. Now, option number 2 is going to be as you are moving up the marketing ascension plan, what you're going to be doing is you are going to go to organic. So what happens in organic? Well, in organic, we're making localized websites. Now, if you're building the website, of course, you want to localize it. We have trainings on that. I have more trainings coming to kind of elaborate a little bit more. If you have questions, reach out to me in the meantime. But essentially, you're going to go into the organic. So you're going to make a localized website, regardless of plan 1 or plan 2, which is again organic. So what can we offer as a high ticket product in the organic space? What we're going to offer is we're going to offer what's called an SEO sprint. Now, sprint, as I mentioned in the SASO trainings, where I explained to you guys and bridge with you guys some of the project management stuff, a sprint is essentially going to refer to a shortened amount of time to accomplish one specific task. So, in project management, in Six Sigma practices, sprints are roughly between, I'm going to say 2 to 6 weeks. I think usually they say it's like 4 to 6, but sprints can be 2 to 6 weeks. So essentially, it's like an intensive, if you've ever taken or heard of an intensive in school or in college, where essentially you would focus on one subject for 4 to 6 weeks super aggressively, and then you would switch subjects. So that's long story short, what a sprint is. The way that we apply it to SEO is very simple. Usually with SEO, we mention that it's a long game. So when we say long game, why do we say it's a long game? We say it's a long game because we're going to be doing keyword research. We're going to be posting blogs monthly. We're going to be working on a backlink strategy. We're going to be working on press releases, and we're going to be working on Google business profiles. Now, the idea behind an SEO sprint is what if we could create enough content to last a year in a matter of 4 to 6 weeks? So within 4 to 6 weeks, you would essentially prevent your client with enough SEO content for the year. Now, where is the advantage in this? Well, I'm going to cover with the easy advantage, and then I'm going to get into the more difficult advantage. So, the easy advantage with the SEO sprint is that you are essentially able to mass produce all of the content you need, and you're going to charge a fraction of what you would charge for the whole year. So, let's say you're charging 1,000 a month for SEO. That means at the end of the year, you're looking at about 10 to 12,000, depending on if they paid monthly or in an annual package, and you gave 2 months for free. So, 10 to 12,000. On the other hand, what might happen with that client is they may say 3 months in, "Hey, I'm not getting results," because we all know SEO is a time consuming process. It's the long game. They might jump ship ahead of time. So what you can do is you can say, "Hey, what if we got everything done in 1 to 2 months, had it ready to go for you?" Now, the trade off is the following. Instead of charging 10,000, which you don't even know if your client will stay for that full 10 to 12 months, you can now say, "Hey, I'm going to do an SEO sprint, but the SEO sprint is going to be priced at $2,000 to $5,000." The way you're going to pitch this is the following. You're going to get the same amount of content in a fraction of the time, and you're going to get it all up front. And instead of spending 10 to 12,000, you're going to spend about uh, half of that at most. You're going to spend half of that at most, right? You're going to spend 40 to 50% of that, and you're going to get the exact same results. So that's going to be really enticing to anybody who already knows that they need SEO. And Imram asks, how can we guarantee them ROI? Like, how will they know this will guarantee X result? So the way that this works, and I'm glad you asked this question. If you follow the trainings that I'm creating, if you follow the tutorials I'm pointing you to, and I'm going to be creating more trainings, especially on SEO, But essentially, if you set it up properly, where you're doing a home page, a service page, a location page, an about page, and a contact page, you have an intake form and a way for them to reach out to you. And then you have locations on the page and you have everything intertwined and linked to the Google business profile. Plus, you're doing a blog a month. There's no possible way that it's not going to have the Google business profile climb the ranks slowly. We know with Google business profile, it's all about CTR. So when you're dealing with a CTR, which is the click through rate, all you're trying to do is have them click the link. All these things are doing is essentially telling Google, hey, we're playing nice, go ahead and promote us. The second thing you're going to do with the SEO sprint, along with the second package, which is the paid organic, is going to be adding Yext, which is going to boost the visibility. Now, with Yext, what's really cool is that it's going to help you manage roughly 70 directory listings, which is nice and dandy because you might appear on some different search databases. But this is where the kicker is with Yext, these two things. And then I'll come back to the more complicated part with the SEO sprint. With Yext, you can do these two things. Number one, if you go on Google and you type in whatever your client's industry is, chiropractor, auto detailer, dentist, underwater basket weaver, it doesn't matter. If you search it, sometimes one of the first links is going to be to Angie or to Craigslist or the Knot for wedding photographers or whatever for fitness trainers, right? It's going to come with a directory that's industry specific. So what happens now is if you have your listing on there optimized, now you could be the first result or at least a top result or the top result on Google. So they, let's say your client is on the Knot, you're dealing with a wedding photographer, videographer, they're on the Knot and they search your website or they search wedding photographer. Maybe your client's website's all the way at the bottom or on another page, but we know that the Knot might be the first, second, or third result. And then on the Knot, maybe your client is the third, fourth, or even fifth result. And so that's going to help tremendously. So when it comes to SEO is all focused on one thing: visibility. It's called search engine optimization because when they search, we want our profile optimized so it has maximum visibility. When it comes to any top of funnel content, it's all going to be visibility. Think about it. You have organic, natural visibility. You have paid organic. I'm going to try to naturally, or I'm going to pay to get higher up on natural results. You have paid where you're getting obnoxious and you're getting in their face on their feed or PPC campaigns or paid mailers or door-to-door salesmen or whatever. And then of course you have social media, which falls under organic, but I specify it and I separate it just for clarity purposes, which again is going to be organic and you can have paid there as well. So it's all top of funnel content is all about number one, visibility, and then testing the content to figure out what converts. Now, coming back to the SEO sprint, the second thing that's a little complicated with the SEO sprint is that when you're dealing with Google, as many of you have reached out to me this past week alone and mentioned, Google is a pain in the butt. Google is, I have a love hate relationship with it for the following reasons. It has all these resources, these tremendous resources, but their customer support and their explanation for why they do what they do is so poor. It's just so terrible. I'll give you an example. I was telling you guys a couple weeks ago about having a virtual business address. They recently updated it to where you can no longer use a virtual business address. Once they updated that process, they just mass banned accounts that were using it with no notice, no heads up. It wasn't like, hey, by the way, if you're using this, get rid of it. No, it was, hey, you're using it. We just updated our policy. You know, tough crap. So I say that to say this: SEO sprints became a bigger thing this year because Google used to have a preference over people who slow dripped SEO content. What does that mean? That means the reason people did this every month is because uh, essentially Google said, hey, we want to see periodic postings. Well, Google recently changed it to where they said, hey, we don't care when you release it. So that's where the SEO sprint came from because SEO experts said, cool, if you don't care when I release it, I'm going to release everything for a year at a time. And that's going to ensure that I don't risk my revenue or my projected revenue on the client lifetime value and my churn rate. Now what's going to happen is I can lock them in at 3 to 5,000, which might be half of what I would make otherwise, but it's a guaranteed 3 to 5,000 for 1 month of work versus 10 to 12 months of work. Where's the risk in that? Well, if Google changes their policy and says, hey, we want you to go back to slow dripping the content, the SEO sprint falls apart. In the meantime, the SEO sprint is definitely a very strong way to come out of the gate swinging. So, what does the SEO sprint entail? It entails a localized website, as we've discussed in the previous calls. It entails a backlink strategy. So, what you're going to do is you're going to look up help a reporter out. It's called HARO, HARO, help a reporter out. You're going to sign your client up for that. What's going to happen is these reporters are going to send emails to your client and they're going to be specific to the industry. So not every industry qualifies, but they're going to be specific to the industry. So what happens is, let's say you sign your dentist or automobile or chiropractor or real estate agent up for Haro. They're going to get emails from reporters saying, hey, we need some information about what it is you do. Because these reporters are essentially trying to put snippets into their articles. They need content to reference and they always need new content, always new everything. So they need new content. So if your client can reply to these emails, or if you even want to add an additional fee monthly for you to reply to these emails on their behalf, what happens is when the reporter puts this information into their online article, they're going to put a link to your client's website. Ergo, it's going to get you backlinks. So you can sign up for Haro for some backlinks. In Yext, one of the cool things is you have a media tab where you put pictures. You can have a no follow backlink for those media files. So if they click on the image in Angie, the Knot, Craigslist, whatever, when they click on that image, it will take them to your website. Now, a no follow backlink isn't as good as a follow backlink, but it is still pretty dang good. So you can have these no follow backlinks in Yext. And if somehow you're able to use all 70 directory listings in Yext, that's 70 no follow backlinks. When I was working with a local client, in a much smaller town than where I am now, the top competitor had 55 backlinks. Setting up for Yext essentially put us to the top overnight. It was nuts. His phone was going crazy. So Yext is super powerful in that regard. But again, when it comes to SEO and Google, Google is very temperamental. So they could change how they weigh what they weigh. What I can tell you is that Google will never, ever, ever change the fact that CTR has the essentially the most amount of weight. Um, and someone asked how Yext works, or they're unsure how Yext works. Essentially, you can upsell it and rebill it in high level because you're going to get a better deal in high level than you are if you go directly through Yext. You're going to be locked in on 3-month contracts at a time. So just a heads up, it's definitely extremely affordable. However, when you're using Yext, it's essentially just going to help you manage directory listings. So for example, you're going to see, it's almost like you see in high level, we have all the side menu items. You're going to see the same thing, but it's going to be for all the different directory listings. So you'll see like Angie's, Craig's, um, you know, whatever directory listings, not whatever. You're going to see all these directory listings on the side, and you're going to essentially go in and you're going to fill out all the information. So instead of having to have a Yext account, an Angie's account, a Craigslist account, it's going to manage all of those accounts from one location. The same way we love high level because it's all inclusive. Yext is all inclusive with that directory listings. So now we've covered at this point having a localized website that they can take wherever they want, or you can even have the localized website that you host on high level and they can still take whenever they want. So that again, we're going to price at minimum 1,000. When you do an SEO sprint, I would charge minimum 2,000. Most people are doing 3, 4, and some are doing 5,000, but you're looking at roughly $2,000 to $5,000 for doing an SEO sprint. There's a ton of tutorials online of how to do an SEO sprint, but again, it's going to boil down to having a localized website, having Yext set up, having the Google Business Profile optimized, having Haro set up, having some backlinks. You can even do a press release, which is essentially where you're going to contact local businesses. They're going to be local news outlets. They're going to have a press release where they're helping you out. And then, of course, you're also going to have a lot of blog content scheduled out or even just mass posted out. Really, it just depends on what you and what your client decide. So that is essentially the first two levels of the high ticket packages. Before I go on to the next one, um, Naman, if you are able to add your mic or your camera, then I will be able to add you to the stream if you want to mention the your thing about the IDX integration. But essentially, that is the first two of the high ticket, um, and those are both going to be one-time fees, right? You're going to do a one-time SEO sprint, and you're going to do a one-time um, website creation. So next, I want to cover some ways that you're going to increase your monthly recurring revenue. And this is going to be primarily focused on social media. This is going to be a little bit about what we covered in the past. Before I do that, I'm going to respond to one of my virtual assistants. But does anybody have any questions on what I've covered since? And I know we have some people in the studio, we have some people watching online. Does anybody have any questions while I stop talking and drink some water after that long spiel? Is there any benefit to having Yext after 3 months? Yeah, so the benefit is as long as you have it up there, it's gonna show the name, address, and um, phone number. So it's called NAP, NAP, name, address, phone number. What that's going to do is the longer it's out there, it essentially tells Google, hey, we have everything set in place. Um, and this is actually going to be out there longer and longer. So Google's going to look at the longevity. And the longevity is going to be a weighted factor. So more information that kind of solidifies what the website is saying. So the NAP needs to match on the website, the listings, anywhere the business is listed. Um, it is going to essentially help with the ranking because it's all telling Google that you're a trustworthy and reliable source. So hopefully that makes sense there. Let's see. Tim said, I thought they would kill all your listings. So if your listings are being managed directly through Yext, then that may be something you want to consider having them go up or having them go down. You can always try it for a period of time. What I like to do, and this is something that you can also use to kind of help push the idea of a higher ticket price, is I like to say the following: Yext, SEO, these type of things are essentially going to they're essentially going to help the longer you have them. So if you can lock them in and say, hey, I don't touch Yext unless you agree to a year commitment up. That's what I do. And this is actually something I would do with I actually have weightlifting clients. I have people who train weightlifters and athletes, and I tell them the same thing. You cannot um, essentially, you cannot get results in 30 days. So if we know we need more time to get results, then let's lock them in for the minimum amount of time that they're going to see results. So that way, if they end the full contract, which they're going to because you're going to lock them into one, then they're going to see, cool, I'm actually getting results. If you just say, hey, let's try SEO for a month, they're going to be like, bro, nothing happened. Dude, nothing happened. Yeah, it's SEO. Nothing has happened because it is not a get rich quick scheme. Nothing is. Naman, I'm going to bring you on and see what you have to say about the IDX integration because I would love to get your point of view on that. Hey, Naman, how
Hey,
are you doing?
good, good. How are you?
Good, good. So walk me through what you meant when you're saying you're not a fan of IDX integration, what the alternative is. Give us the rundown because this is going to help. And the reason I want to cover this is going to help with the high ticket web creation. If you're working with real estate agents or realtors or anybody who's touching the MLS database, that's going to help tremendously if there are other options. So, Naman, I'll see what you've got to say about it.
Yeah, and I'd like your feedback on this as well. But ideally, the whole ideology behind that is, generally when agents are creating like an IDX website, um, the main thing is that you know when somebody like when the general public or consumer is looking for a home, they're just going to Zillow or Realtor.com or Realtor.ca. Um, like if I'm looking for a home and I don't have an established relationship with any realtor, I don't. First of all, I don't know the realtor's website. I don't know that they exist. I don't really care. I just care about looking for a specific home and finding a way to connect with the realtor. So the thing is, like, realtors really have to focus on driving traffic to their IDX website, and that's a whole separate thing. Kind of in the way before they can really establish the know, like, and trust factors, and also establish like a relationship with their clients. So what I usually focus on is like driving traffic to like a funnel for a realtor, for example, through like um, either their organic like social media or through paid ads, and then through there, kind of just having them connect with um, clientele, and maybe like driving them to a traffic or driving the traffic to a funnel where there's like a VSL where the agent can kind of educate or provide some kind of value um, to potential clientele, and then just really focus on putting them on a homes list or a home search that they would send through like email or something. um and
Right.
and if they have like if they have like an IDX website, it doesn't hurt, right? Because then they can use that after the relationship's been made. um but I just feel like in terms of, yeah, like somebody who's like brand new and looking for a home and doesn't have an existing relationship with a realtor, it just doesn't make sense to have an IDX website because nobody's gonna know. Like, let's say like you have an IDX website, right? Like Alec at realestate.com, whatever, right? So
Right. Right.
Alec.com, I don't know it exists. I'm just gonna go to Zillow and search for a home.
Right. Now, what about with now? again, I'm not as knowledgeable in real estate, at least the websites as you are. Do I need I'm still gonna have the MLS, right?
Yeah, like you'll have your MLS like connected to the website, but the thing is like every single website looks the same. Like through
Right.
the IDX way, like all these companies that provide like the same cookie cutter website. So
Mhm.
then again, you're not really differentiating yourself. Like, like every single agent would have their own website and it looks like they all look the same. It just has a little bit of like it has your face on it, but other than that, it functions and works the same way. So there's literally no like unique selling proposition. Whereas with like an agent who has like a VSL is something that a lot of other agents don't even know about or even do. Um,
Oh,
and that's like a way that they kind of differentiate themselves.
and so would you have like, let's say I have a realtor's website, right? Would you have an MLS integration or would you have any type of integration? I know you mentioned having like the custom email going out. That's something that my wife and I had when we were looking for homes. But in terms of like MLS, IDX, do you not have any integration on a realtor specific website or funnel? Or how would you manage that part if a realtor comes to you, or let's say comes to me and says, "Hey, I want to have the homes I'm representing on my website." What would your answer be there?
So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't hurt if there is an IDX website. Like that still can be a thing, but also like what there is I know there's people that actually can do like you can hire people um through like to be able to like create integrations through high levels. So like on your funnel or something, you could be able to integrate with with the MLS. So you can actually get that all like without having to make an IDX website.
Got it. Um, yeah, and I had like, for example, I had a contractor reach out and I asked him, I said, "Hey," I asked actually 3 of my guys all separately. I said, "Hey, how can we integrate this?" And they said, "Oh, you don't need any tools. We just use an embed code." Have you ever heard of anything like that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about it specifically, but there are codes and like embeds that you can basically do. Um, like specifically for the MLS where like it doesn't have to be just like through like the whole IDX way. You can like literally just do it straight through on like a high level website or funnel.
Mhm.
There's even ways that you could even connect Zillow in a way. So like even for example, if you're trying to set up like um home evaluations or something, you can have a way where like people can search their address or whatever, and it'll be a service done through Zillow. But it's more about just providing value to the client essentially.
Yeah, and I agree because, nobody really reaches out to her like, very few times will you see a realtor, have somebody come to their website and say, "I wanna see what homes you're selling," and then base my purchasing on what you're representing. Usually it's, I want to find the home. I want you to help me buy this home, or I want to sell this home and I want you to help me do that. Usually they don't care what homes they're representing. So I definitely agree with that. From what I've seen, using just simple embedding is really just the easiest way to go with IDX. Um, so that's where, again, that's why I'm appreciative that you shared your point of view there, and that's where I'm kind of in the same boat where I'd rather just try to essentially get leads to sign up with the realtor, and
Yeah.
then the realtor can look for them, or they're going to look at the properties like you said on Zillow, on different websites, and then when they essentially put some kind of an interest into that, of course, there's automations that start from there where the realtor is essentially connected with that lead via Zillow or even just SMS or email, like you mentioned. So I don't think it's as needed um, as people want it to be. Like I have clients all the time, they're like, "I want to do this, I want to do that." And it's like, it's not needed. And that's where, as the expert, they're coming to you. Don't let people come to you and tell you what to do. Let them come to you and let them tell you what they want done in terms of results and solutions. But you need to be the one to say, "Cool, if you want to do this, we actually need to do it my way because my way works. I know my way works because I've been doing this for a while." If we can always add what you want to do, but disclaimer, it's going to have this type of impact, whether that's no impact, negative impact, or it's kind of a positive impact, but it's outside of the budget and the scope. So I'm going to have to charge a little bit more. So that's at least been my point of view and my experience. Um, would you say you agree with that, or have you seen anything different from that, Naman?
No, I'd agree. Um,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's essentially the way that I would take it. Um, yeah, I would essentially just keep the integration simple. But aside from IDX integration, to have you answer the question like super directly, and then we'll move on. Aside from IDX, is there an alternative to IDX, or when you say alternative, are you just looking at the MLS, Zillow, Realtor integrations?
Well, the whole point is I like when I think about it, like having the IDX website is just like it's kind of like a middleman or kind of like just something in between um to create the relationship between the realtor and the potential client.
Mhm.
Whereas if we can just try to get that lead or that client um in contact with the agent as quick as possible,
Right.
right? And then have the agent directly send, listings off the MLS through like, their automated email drip campaigns and stuff. Um, that's so much more higher leverage.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like you're really capitalizing on the relationship. Whereas, when you're on a website, it's just very one sided. You're just interacting with the website. So I think that's the number one key thing. Um, to really focus on. And I'm just only talking about real estate because that's basically what like my niche is. I'm not too sure about
Right.
like how it would work in like other niches, but um yeah, that's what I see. But if that like I was saying, if it's something that's really like necessary, somebody like really cares about having some kind of like integration, then obviously yeah, that can be done as well, where you can integrate Zillow or integrate the MLS to your website, which ideally should be on high level because you can still manage the traffic and have people kind of opt in as a lead, um, and be on some certain campaigns.
Got it. Yeah, and I think no, no, and what you mentioned is good because I know it's very specific to realtors, but there are quite a few people who want to work with realtors just because of the high ticket nature and what they do. Even a small sale is a big sale when it comes to real estate, and so the sales from that are also going to be um, yeah, I mean, the commissions off of the sales are also going to be really, really nice. When my wife and I sold our home, I remember seeing the financials of the two realtors that got payouts, and our realtor I think took home like I think it was like after tax it was like 6,900 because we lived in like just a very small area, and then the other realtor only took home 20 no, 4,800. I was like, "Whoa, why?" And this was pretty recent. I was like, "Why was there such a, disparity between the 2 amounts?" And it turned out that they were working with some kind of a, licensed, marketing company for these properties, and they took like a $2,500 check home, just off of running those leads. And the sales process was so simple, and it was almost like so simple, it was almost stupid. And I was like, dang, and they just took home 2,400 off of one closed deal with this massive, or not massive, but rather major real estate company. So I was like super impressed by the amount of money and the little amount of work that goes into it. But it just goes to show you that another thing you can do with high ticket, and that's why I wanted to mention this is if you work with people who are making quite a bit of money, and they're selling these high ticket things, then you essentially are going to get a kickback, right? If I'm working with, and I've done this before, where I'm working with maybe a lawn care guy, they don't have the uh, biggest budget because what's essentially happening is, um, how much does it cost to get your lawn mowed? Like 50 to 100 bucks at most a month, or cut, not a month, a week. So you're looking at like 50 a week. It's kind of hard for me to turn around and say, "Hey, I want you to pay me two, three, four, 5,000." So another way that's really cool to get into high ticket is essentially understanding what industry you're working with. And this is something that you can do with when you're doing your niche selection is you can basically say, cool, what industry is making quite a bit of money? And how can I hop on and help these people make money? Because as we know, if you help someone make money, you yourself are going to make money making money, right? Anything B2B, I don't care what anybody tells you, anything B2B is going to be focused almost every single time on making money. And the only reason I say every single time is because I've seen some like B2B fitness people. And I don't know like how well that does, but I've seen some B2B like fitness coaches where it's like, hey, if your business gets a free pass at this membership or whatever, it's always going to be based on so that's kind of like a health versus finance. But at the end of the day, it's going to be on helping them save money and have a benefit. So B2B is always about directly or indirectly saving or making money. That's always what B2B boils down to. So if you want to do some high ticket, you can still do the comprehensive marketing approach. you can still do the marketing ascension model, and you can essentially just work with higher ticket industries. The most commonly known one is real estate. I think there's like some crazy statistic um, on like realtors. I don't know how accurate it is, but the last time I saw it, again, this was a couple of years ago, it said something like almost like 1 in 5 people have their real estate license. And look at how many people practice real estate versus have their license. Like the disparity is massive. So
Yeah.
real estate is a really common one. Do you know off the top of your head that statistic? How many people are realtors or real estate agents?
Um, no, like, yeah, you mentioned, like, the amount of people that are, like, actually, like, license holders versus the thing is that, many people actually drop off, like, a lot of people have their license, and many people just drop out of the industry because they're failing. I think it's about to say, like, 70% or something, like, defeat their license, within 5 years because they're not able to, have consistent cash flow because it's all commission, right? And, um especially now with, like, for example, like, the market. I'm in Canada, but, like, pretty sure same in America too, but, like, with higher interest rates and, um, especially in Canada with house prices going up through the roof due to, low supply, like, it's a
Mhm.
really cutthroat market, right? So, um, yeah, like, a lot of people just they're working other jobs, they're not really actively licensed anymore, um, or yeah, they're just getting basically, like, leaving the industry.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's funny is there's some other industries that actually do pretty well when it comes to high ticket. Some that you may not think of, but anytime somebody is selling high ticket items, so if they're selling like heavy equipment, watches, uh, jets, private jets. I've seen job listings where it's like 10,000 a month plus 50 or plus like 5% commission on any jets you sell, and they pay you like I think they pay for like unlimited travel so you can fly and meet these people in person to try to close these massive deals. But like it was like 10K plus commission. So and private jets sell for like millions. Like you're not going to see too many under a million. So imagine if all you're doing is helping them sell those deals and getting a commission off that, right? So again, another way to go into high ticket is essentially helping people sell really expensive things, really expensive assets, selling businesses. If you're helping sell businesses and you're pulling a commission or a percent off of that. So there's so many different ways to sell expensive things. Again, real estate is just so popular because people buy and sell homes all the time. But selling jets, selling yachts, like I know it sounds crazy, like a fever dream, but if you're able to and you understand the industry well, or you have a connection, or as we talk about in the step one training, if you have a connection or knowledge of it, even with working with lawyers, there's so many lawyers out there. Even with working with lawyers, if you're able to help them get more clients, and you're working with high ticket type lawyer. So you're not just working with, you know, maybe you're not working with divorce lawyers, but maybe you're working with, high net worth individual divorce lawyers or corporate banking clients, right? So focus on industries that charge a lot of money and help them essentially with that.
Can I just
So
add on to that?
what's that?
Sorry, just one more comment to add on to that.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, that was a good point you brought up there, like, with high ticket, because I was just even thinking, like, even, like, with real estate, there's, like, lawyers or, like, financial planners, um, like, it's kinda like a little sphere, I guess, of other industries that kinda mingle together and can also be kind of worked on in terms of high ticket offers because, like, even, like, for example, where I live, I'm in Vancouver, and the average home price here is, like, 1.5 million. Even for, like,
Sheesh.
a like, little shack, it's gonna be 1.5 million because land value is so expensive, and
Yeah.
people get multiple offers on their properties, even though this is the average house price here. So, that just really goes to show, like, how cutthroat the market is, but
Mm,
how much more opportunity it can provide because the average commission here is gonna be, like, in the tens of thousands for an agent.
yeah.
So, technically, like, if you're selling a high ticket offer of, let's say it's 7K, even 7 to 8K or whatever, they're gonna make their commission. They're gonna make their money back just from one closed deal, right? So,
Yeah.
um,
And that means I want to pause right there because what you said is really well said. When you go to do your closing, that's exactly how you phrase it. Hey, we help you make one deal and you're going to triple your investment with us, right? Let's say you're charging them 3,000 a month. One deal, you're going to double your investment with us. That means after that, not only are we helping you profit off of one deal, after that, everything is pure profit that we're going to be making. Like that's an insanely easy close to make. Same goes with whatever you're pitching to do. Now the question, and this is why I start with the comprehensive marketing approach. This is the same question that Imram asked. The question is, um, how can we guarantee them this ROI? And the way you do that is you start with low clients. You start with low ticket. Why do we start with low ticket? It's because when you do low ticket, you're going to attract two types of people. You're going to attract very new businesses with a very small budget, or you're going to attract really low quality clients. You're going to attract people who aren't going to do too much. You're going to attract really uh, painful painful to work with clients. You attract clients who are gonna give you a headache. And when I say that, people go, "Ah, that sounds awful." Well, imagine if you skipped going through that painful process and you went right to your perfect ideal client and you had no experience and you had no idea if you could deliver the value. What's gonna happen? You're gonna tarnish your reputation. You're gonna ruin that network. And anybody that business owner knows, his or her friends, they're gonna tell you them, "Hey, don't work with this individual because he screwed me over." So it's better to work with the new business owners who are patient with you because they don't know what to expect. It's better to work with the low quality clients who, if they get angry, it doesn't really burn any bridges that you care about maintaining too much. Now, of course, that's not the intention, but it's nice to understand from a worst case point of view. It's not that bad if you fall on your face. And when you do fall on your face, handle it like you're handling your ideal client and basically explain, hey, this is what's going on. This was either my fault or this was out of the scope of my control. Here's what I'm doing to fix it. And you let them know before they ask about it. So if your Google business profile gets suspended, you reach out to them. Hey, here's what's going on. Not sure. Like this was not a fault that we did. Here's what I'm doing to remedy the situation. Not sure what the timeline is, but I will keep you posted. Right there, that's the best that you can do. And again, I'm using Google as an example because Google pisses me off with how much they do that kind of stuff and they pull those stunts. But essentially, that's the entire gist of why we start with these low quality clients and these low ticket clients. I know a lot of people are like, well, I want to jump in and start making 2,000 a month. I want to jump in and start making 5,000 a month. I would love for you to do that. But the fact of the matter is, if you jump in too early, all you're going to do is you're going to get hurt. The client's going to be pissed at you. And then you're going to feel really disheveled and really just defeated. Again, I told Tim this the other day. I'll say it again. I love using weightlifting in the gym, just the physical realm as a nice analogy. If you go to the gym, you can't just get under the bar and start benching or squatting 400 pounds. You're gonna get extremely hurt if you even survive. But if you go in and you handle 5, 10, 15 pounds, and then you go up from there all the time, there's gonna be a time where your max rep effort becomes your warm up. There's gonna be a time where running 5 miles is nothing, but when you're just starting out, running 5 miles sounds like some kind of evil torture and torment from the depths of hell. So it's all about understanding. I know a lot of people come in super excited, and what ends up happening is they get burnt out in that initial phase. That's why I have the training on the um, emotional cycle of change, where I basically explain it's nice having somebody to pull you through, whether that's a mentor, a community, or even just a roadmap. So, Naman, I definitely appreciate it. Did you have any other questions or comments or anything you wanted to add before we move on to the social media component?
No, no, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for letting me
Awesome.
up.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you hopping in. And then what I'm going to do is, Tim, if you want, I'm going to go ahead and pull you up, see if you have any questions since you joined in, and then we'll jump into the social media aspect of everything.
Ah, sure.
Put it down. How's it going?
Good, man. Good, good, good. Yeah, you know what? I do have some questions on social media. So I have been clipping things out and I recorded my Cairo. So I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, probably 15 different clips that I finally figured out a way to get them all clipped out. But you know what? They're all really long. They're all like at least 2 minutes. Some are 3 minutes. And so, and I finished them all out as a vertical.
Mm.
And I think I screwed the pooch there with respect to, I can't use these anywhere, how they are. Ca
How so? You said the vertical you can't use anywhere?
because of the length. With Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, we're all they're all limited to 90 seconds. Is that right?
Oh, the time length.
Yeah.
I haven't tried the longer form stuff. Usually when I'm doing the TikTok snippets is just what I refer to them. I usually aim for 61 seconds, which sounds weird. I try to get right over a minute because when it comes to monetizing, at least on Facebook, and I want to say Reels, I could be wrong, but or not Facebook, I'm sorry, TikTok. When it comes to monetizing on TikTok, the content clip needs to be it needs to be right over a minute. So I aim for 61 seconds if I can. If not, I'm not too worried about it, but I usually aim for roughly a minute. And then on TikTok, I can do my longer stuff. But what you can do, and I actually have the training is coming out tomorrow, and that's what I'm going to be covering in just a moment. But what you can do is you can have variations of that clip. So you can have a shorter variation where
Right.
you cut out some of the maybe tangent stuff or extra stuff, and then you can have the longer variation. But yeah, you can do. I mean, I can even do
Right.
I can do a quick search right now, like how long can
Yeah. No,
YouTube
yeah.
at
I,
60? So YouTube is 60.
right. YouTube 60, the other two are 90. Um,
Gotcha. Yeah. So that should tell you for anyone listening, if you're repurposing to those platforms, make sure you're aware of that timeline. So if you're YouTube, you're looking at under 60. So that means if we can, let's try to keep everything under 60. But again, most of what I'm doing is like the Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and that's where I'm aiming for about that 60 to 70 seconds for that monetization on TikTok specifically.
okay. So the other question I had was when you are creating a blog post, um, what should I use I think it doesn't really matter, honestly. Should I use just a 16 by 9 long form, the 2 minute, 3 minute version of that? Uh,
When you say the blog content, can you
yep.
elaborate? You mean like for the on the website?
Yeah.
So the website blog is actually going to be the full conversation turned into formatted content. So let's say you had like a 60 to 90-minute conversation. What you're going to do is that full transcript will become a blog post. Now you're not just going to copy and paste the transcript over. What you're going to do is you're going to reformat it. And so
Get it.
what you can do is you can download the transcript, you can put it into Claude.ai because it will read the entire document for you. And you can say, hey, turn this into an SEO optimized document focused on this location, this, and it's in this industry for this location and this keyword. And then it will basically build it around that. Now, again, it's not going to give you the best article, but when you're looking at the best articles, you probably want to use a tool like, um, Jasper AI, Surfer SEO, and those are going to help you really get the terminology, like the keyword phrasing right, the cluster content. So cluster content refers to if I'm talking about um, chiropractic adjustments. The other topics in that cluster might also be: is it healthy? How much does it cost? How frequently should I go? So it's going to be related keywords essentially. So FAQs that are bundled in a certain cluster. And so what I will say is regardless of what AI tool you use, whether it's Chat, Claude, Surfer, um, Jasper, whatever tool you use, what's going to happen is it's AI. So it's just going to say, hey, we think, even it doesn't matter if it's chat or even a tool that tells you. Some of the tools are really cool, like Surfer. It will say, hey, you need to use the word adjustment 18 times. You need to use the word professional 6 times. And it's really cool based off how many characters you have. At the end of the day, it's just telling you, hey, this is what we think is going to work. The way that it collects that information is it looks at all your competitors and it says, cool, this is what they're doing to rank number one. So that means we need to do something similar when we rank. When you use a tool like Jasper or Surfer and you start clicking a button, it has a really cool button. You just click it, it just writes content for you. Guess how it does it? It copies it copies the copy, it copies the blogs from your ranking competitors, and it tries to rewrite it for your brand. So it's really just taking that content, throwing it into something like ChatGPT and saying, hey, rewrite this for me. That's essentially what it's boiling down to. And then it's adding some more metrics. And it says, cool, once you reach a certain amount of a cluster words, we're going to rank you higher or lower. What I will say is that I'm working on a really cool project with some of my contractors. And what we're doing is we're creating bots. Now, the bots essentially are going to be helping people create SEO content. And it's going to be a one time payment because it's actually like software we're putting together and bundling. but it would be a one-time payment for a bot that would write SEO content for you versus using a paid tool like Surfer or Jasper where you're paying 50 or $100 every single month. So that's something we're putting together that will be available to the SASO community at a discount, and then it'll also be available to anybody who's not in the community for full price. But those are things that we're putting together to avoid paying. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to show also another platform that can help with that. But I'll take one more question, then we'll jump into social media. Did you have another question, Tim?
Oh, one more question from me. Well, yeah, so
Yeah.
actually a follow-up question on that is, my thought, and just tell me if I'm wrong or right, but my thought is, and I'm just happen to be building a new website for this guy, is every one of these items is its own blog post.
Okay. Yeah. So I know where you're going with this. So the main transcription gets turned into what we call pillar content. Pillar content is going to be this really in depth, these really long, um, really, really long blog posts. So you've probably seen some blog posts where they're really long, and then they have certain keywords that are highlighted. So let's use the chiropractic adjustment example. Maybe it's a really generic post like, what do chiropractors do? And this is a really long post about chiropractic adjustments, how much it costs, holistic versus, pharmaceutical medication, all those different H1s and H2s. And then let's say I click on a link that says holistic versus pharmaceutical medication that can go to its own blog post, which is most likely what you're referring to, where it's a little more specific. So that means a blog post probably won't be as long. Now, if I
Right,
create the filler content, which is going to be the transcription, then I'm going to have the specific topics or the H1s and H2s. Those can be linked to their own blogs, separate blogs. Those blogs will be shorter. Now, we want to intertwine or interlink rather those blogs with each other. So the pillar goes to the specific, and then somewhere in the specific, it mentions other topics so it can link to other topics. That's where we get the term uh,
internal links.
websites, web. Yeah, internal links, but web, because it really is a web of links. So
Gotcha.
everything is going to be linked to each other. And if you were to draw a line to each one, it looks like a crazy web. And so
Right.
that's kind of uh, a really cool analogy and imagery, but that's essentially what we end up building is you have all the blogs linked to each other, the blogs linked to the Google business, the services linked to the Google business products or services, depending on where it lets you have the link intertwining everything. And then when you have a Facebook or YouTube post, you have a link there that links to the actual website. So when you're doing your high ticket website creation and maybe an SEO sprint and you're creating all that content, you're having all of that content linked to each other, intertwined. And what you're going to do, chronologically speaking, is you start with the pillar content and then you go into the smaller subcategories. And that essentially is going to have the biggest amount of impact because the pillar content, especially when you're working with a local client, look at how many competitors have a pillar content that aren't in multiple locations. Usually somebody hits gold, they build their business, they have multiple locations, then they bring in an SEO expert. If you have somebody who's a little newer or a little smaller, or they're doing this a little bit more prematurely relative to their, uh, their counterparts or their peers in the same field, maybe not the same location, but at the same stage, what's going to happen is um, you're going to essentially have the just a massive, massive advantage. Essentially, that's what it's going to boil down to. So, great
Got it.
question. Yeah, start with the pillar content, format it right, then worry about in the long run having the smaller posts. And this is exactly why SEO for most people is a monthly thing because month one, creating that first blog post, that's a lot of work. And then you have the smaller posts and what you're going to do on those blog posts, right? The pillar content at the very top, you need to have a YouTube embed link to the full interview and then a full conversation, or the interview can link be at the bottom. And then when you have those snippets, you're going to have those snippets on YouTube embedded on the blog that you're talking about. So that's going to get you YouTube views. That's going to get you YouTube subscribers. And it's going to tell Google, hey, look, we're using all of your services. We're using your SEO. We're using your YouTube because Google owns YouTube. And it just really helps with the overall SEO.
Gotcha. Okay, that's really cool.
Awesome.
I'm on
Thanks,
board.
Tim.
You
All
bet.
right. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the social media stuff now. Appreciate Tim and Naman for asking some questions and engaging. Really appreciate that. So the next thing I want to cover is this is something I have the training coming out on very shortly. I wanted to drop it on Wednesday or Tuesday, and it was going to be my review of Opus Clips versus Video AI. And what I uncovered and what I realized and what I decided was let me just share with everybody the full process that I use to charge clients anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 every single month with video. Essentially, it's video podcast post production. So what I'm going to do is I have a training coming out. I'm going to cover it very briefly and kind of build a little hype and excitement over that training. But essentially, what's going to happen is you're going to see the video training, and it's going to explain how in under 2 hours a month, you can make enough content to last 35 days for your client. And you can charge them anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. And Tim, I know you're here. I know this is something we talked about on our coaching, but I have even more stuff to share with you that I think you're going to have a lot of things going to really excite you over what I'm going to cover. So first, I'm going to cover what I covered with Tim a little bit. Then I'm going to cover some software that Tim, you're not aware of and other people are not aware of. And then I'm going to cover a really cool piece of software that is going to change the way you run social media for you and for your clients. I'm going to do that all within the next 18 minutes or so. So number one, what you're going to do, and you can do this, it doesn't matter what educational level, it doesn't matter what experience you have. I know because I did this when I had zero video editing experience. Essentially, what I did is I would do these podcast video interviews. So you're going to use, I'll cover the software in depth in the training. I'm going to mention them on the call so you have an idea, but you're going to use software to do a video interview. So all you do is just like I'm doing right now. I have a call, I send a link to someone, they hop in, I record the interview. While I'm recording the interview, what I'm going to do, and the training, by the way, it shows all of this stuff on a step-by-step basis. But what I'm going to do for the interviews, I'm going to pull 10 to 20 SEO rich questions. So when I'm pulling those 10 to 20 SEO rich questions, what I'm doing is, and you can do this for free, I'm going to Google, typing in the industry, and I'm basically pulling up all of the FAQs. So if you type anything on Google, like for example, how do I know if I have a good dentist? How do I know if my chiropractor is good? How do I know if my automobile guy is good? How do I know if my whatever guy is good? Whatever, right? Whatever it is. How do I know if my therapist? What's going to happen is you're going to see a section that says people also ask. And they're usually these drop down, they look like FAQs. You click it, it drops down. And when you compact it or when you collapse it back, so you close it, you're going to see more FAQs appear. So it usually starts with like 3 to 5. You open it, you close it, more appear. And you can just keep opening and closing FAQ tabs. You can get a whole list of questions that people also ask. So if people are asking them, and the search intent behind it is buyer focus, or they're trying to find a new whatever, a new lawn guy, a new HVAC guy, a new dentist, a new lawyer, a new whatever. If that's the focus, then you know the people that are searching this are looking for these people, which means potential leads are asking these questions. So what are you going to do with that information? You're going to pull 10 to 15 of those questions or 10 to 20 of those questions. You're going to have them ready to go. You're going to give them to your client ahead of time. And you're going to basically tell them, hey, these are the questions I'm going to ask you. Now, the cool thing is these questions, because people are already asking them, people are asking them in the search bar. That means that if you have an article or if you have blog content or if you have video content on that topic, guess what people are going to want to click on? So it's telling you, hey, this is the content that people are looking for. Go and make it. So that's step one, figuring out what questions to ask the client. And don't worry, I cover over how to pitch it to your client as well. But step one is going to be how to find those keywords that are going to be SEO rich. Step two is going to be you're going to interview them on a tool. You can use one of two tools. You can use Riverside.fm or you can use Squadcast. Now, the reason I'm using Squadcast for some of these is because I use a tool called Descript, which I'm going to cover in a second. When I use Descript, Descript allows me to do my screen recording. So when you see me doing screen recordings in the training, that's a Descript. I'm able to edit my videos using the text. So it actually shows me the transcription. So I can pull that transcription, post-produce content from that. I can pull the audio. It gives me studio sound. So there's a reason why if you look at the live calls versus the recorded calls when I post them on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, there's a reason why me live sounds way different than me in the training. I'm using a $30 microphone. This thing is not nice at all. But when I use the Descript studio sound, all of a sudden the audio quality is, wow, it's impeccable. So I love Descript because it's 30 a month. In that 30 a month, I get a screen recording. So Loom is usually 15 a month. So now I get Descript. I get the transcript based editing. I get perfect studio sound. So my mic sounds great. I've had some people where the audio was so bad I couldn't understand them. I put it in Descript and it was like crystal clear. I don't know how it works. I'm not going to question it. Of course, it's got the, and then it's got, of course, where I'm able to make, post produce different clips. So I can highlight, export to a composition, add a template. Boom. I have a TikTok ready to go. Same with Square. Boom, I have a Instagram post ready to go. So I use Descript. With Descript, you get a free Squadcast account. Squadcast is just like Riverside. It's just like StreamYard, but it's focused on the interview style. So with the free Squadcast account, I'm able to do my interview. So right there with one tool, I'm able to record the interview, edit the interview, fix the interview sound, post produce clips, export the whole thing, and screen record. So that's $30 a month. It's unbeatable. I've used it for probably 2 years now. I'm probably going to use it as long as I don't mess anything up. I'm probably going to use it forever. Now, there's also, let's say you don't want to do you don't use Descript. The reason I like Descript again is because I'm a control freak. I want to handle all the meticulous details. Let's say you're very, very new to video editing. Maybe you're not as control oriented as I am. What you can do is you can take the interview that you record in Squadcast, in Riverside, and again, those are virtual podcast rooms. Maybe you just record it in person. You have two cameras, whatever. You can take the clip and you can put them into tools like Opus Clips, Video.ai, and Wisecut. Now, I have, again, the training has the links for everything. It shows you everything. It even shows you the different pricing. But the cool thing is, all three have a free plan. So, what I would recommend is do a short interview, a 30-minute interview, take that interview clip, post it into all three, see what clips it gives you, see how the editor feels, see how you like the content that comes out of it. And then from there, choose which one you like. Now, the big difference is video will post produce landscape, vertical, and square, and it'll give you more editing capabilities. But the clips that AI pulls aren't that great. They're good, but they're not great. Opus Clips, on the other hand, has a very limited editor. So it's almost more beginner friendly because it almost takes away any of the options you have. But if you have some video editing experience, it can be a little frustrating because there's not that much customization. However, it will give you a virality score. So it will tell you, hey, we think this clip is going to go viral, and here's exactly why. And it will give you 10 clips that it thinks are going to go viral. And then I put in one, it gave me 35 clips. So that was really cool. Got 35 clips from it. Video gave me like 27 clips, but again, video had more editing. Wisecut, again, it's a little bit more cost efficient. It also gave me some pretty good clips. I'm going to test all three and see what performs better. But my advice is throw them all in there, look at the free plan, and see how you like the interface and the editing capabilities. Now, there's a really, really cool tool that's called repurpose.io. Repurpose, you can essentially create workflows. It's only 15 a month or 25 a month, rather. It's 25 a month. You can create workflows. You can upload a video. It will post produce content for you. But the cool thing about Repurpose is that it's going to post to all these other platforms that most social media things don't post to. So, for example, Video, Opus, and Wisecut, they're going to post to TikTok, Instagram. I think some of them have YouTube or they are adding YouTube. Now, Repurpose is actually nuts because Repurpose is going to pull the audio. It's going to put the audio in podcasts on Spotify. It's going to pull the text. It's going to make tweak for your text. It's going to pull clips, and then it's going to have those clips able to be scheduled on way more platforms. It has Twitter. It has all the normal ones like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and then it also has Twitter, Pinterest, and it has Snapchat. And they're adding a capability to where it can start adding stories for you. So Repurpose is absolutely nuts. So I love Descript. I love Repurpose. If you're not again, Descript. So let me back up a little bit. Descript is if you're hands-on, you want to control everything yourself. Opus, Video, Wisecut are going to be really good if you just need vertical video or maybe some square video. And if you want to start getting into the audio and the text up where it's a little more complicated, Repurpose is nuts. I love Repurpose. Now, regardless of what you use, and this is the part I'm excited to share with Tim because I know we've been talking about this for quite some time now, but I'm really excited to share this with all of you. Regardless of what you're going to use, when it comes to your social media scheduling, you're going to use a tool called SocialBee. I'm going to explain why you're going to use a tool called SocialBee. So you're going to pair whatever video editor with whatever you want to use to record your podcast interview with SocialBee. Why SocialBee? Because with SocialBee, you're not going to just schedule posts. What you're going to do is you're going to schedule categories and you're going to upload your posts into categories. So what does that mean? Well, that means that if the social media calendar has a scheduled post for a specific topic, like let's say client testimonials or client wins, or maybe before afters, you can upload a video into that category. And what's going to happen is, let's say you upload 30 videos into that category. What's going to happen is, once the social media scheduler goes to schedule, it's going to pull a video from that category. So that's pretty cool because you don't have to schedule the specific videos. However, once you have scheduled all of the videos, guess what it's going to do? It's going to keep the same weekly schedule and it's going to recycle your content. The beauty of it is that you will never have your social media run dry again. And you can add more and more content, but the minute that you run out of content, it's just going to start recycling your content. And if you know anything about short form content, TikToks, Reels, Shorts, that vertical 60 to 90-second clip, you know that their half life is very short. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, you can repost the same clip over and over again until you figure out if it does well or not. You can only post a YouTube video once, but with those short form content, you can repost and repost and repost, and it's not going to have a negative impact. So it is super, super powerful. It is amazing. It gets better. You can have agency pricing. So you can spend between you have the other pricing where it's just like for you, right? But you can essentially have agency pricing. Now, what agency pricing does is that you can have multiple accounts. So for, let's say, I think the lowest agency pricing is $149. So for $149, you can have 50 social media accounts. So imagine this. Imagine you have 50 local business owners and you automate all of their Facebook accounts for $149. That's nothing. That is pennies on the dollar. And so again, $149, 50 Facebook accounts, and you can go up to like, you can go up to way more accounts and you can increase the pricing. I think the packages go up to like 450. And if you're thinking, whoa, that's expensive, no, it's not. And here's why. Business owners have a massive issue when it comes to social media. The issue is the following. They know they need a presence on social media in order to essentially attract and maintain clients for free 99, right? That's the whole point of the $0 client acquisition training, is using social media to essentially keep our client acquisition costs as low as humanly possible. Now, when we're using social media, what's the problem? The problem is two things: creating content, scheduling content, and having enough of both, and having both done right in a manner that allows us to have a consistent social media profile. You can now come in using these tools and you can essentially fix that problem within 2 hours of your time. Now, as Tim can tell you, and as I can tell you, the first time you do it, it's not going to take 2 hours. It's going to take closer to like 5 to 10 hours. But again, that's per client per month. And so as you get better, the first time I did it, it took me like, I think it was like 4 to 5 hours. The second time I brought the time down. Now at the point where I can essentially build out the process. I use virtual assistants, which I cover in the training. I explain how to essentially communicate with them. And I'm able to do all of that in under 2 hours a month and just maintain a really solid social media presence. And on the days where they can't do the interviews, guess what? Writing their social media as well with Social Bee, which is pulling the content from the categories. So now the social media profile for the client, not only am I making them content, because how many people hate being in front of the camera? How many of your people have told you, oh yeah, I'll make content, but they don't actually do it, or I'll get to it and they don't actually do it. You can say, no, if we do it my way. Here's how we're going to do it. It takes 1 hour of their time. Imagine this. Imagine I come to you and I go, hey, Tim, hey, Naman, hey, Imran, hey, Mike, hey, whomever, right? Imagine I come to you and I say, hey, 1 hour a month. And this is the lowest I would go, but I'd say 1 hour a month. I'm going to make enough content for you. I need 1 hour of your time. I'm going to ask you questions. So now you don't have to worry about making all this content. All you have to do is talk to me for an hour. I don't care how many times you've been on or not been on camera. Anybody can have a 1 hour conversation or a 90-minute conversation. I'm going to have a 60 to 90-minute conversation. I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to knock them out of the park because I'm going to give you the questions ahead of time. Then I'm going to post produce enough content for you to have your entire social media feed filled out, your Google business profile feed filled out, blogs added weekly or monthly, depending on how much content we get and how we agree upon it. And you're never going to have to worry about making content while you go on vacation or doing extra work before you go on vacation. And so now you can offer this in one of two ways. Number one, I'm going to create all of this content for you, give it to you. So I'm going to give you all of the video, all of the audio, all of the snippets of text and whatever. I'm going to give you the blog. You post it when and how you want to post it. At that price point, I'm doing minimum $500 a video. Again, when you see the training, if you actually watch the training shows you just how easy it is to use all these tools. It is not hard at all. The first time is going to have a learning curve, yes, but it is not difficult at all. It is just time consuming to learn the first time. Take one Saturday and learn it. It will never take that long again. Then you're going to hand everything over, $500 a video minimum. But what I do is I bundle that in. So again, as I said, with high ticket, we don't get out of bed for less than 1,000. So what you can say is every single month, we're going to do 2 interviews. We're going to have enough content to post 2 to 3 times a day. And now every day we're going to post short form content, a text-based content, and maybe an audiogram or an image-based content. Every single day you can post 2 to 3 pieces of content, 7 days of the week, because you're doing these 2 interviews. So now they have this tremendous social media presence, and we're adding blog content to boost SEO, and we're adding Google Business Profile content to add to increase the local listings. And so when you're pairing all of this together, what are you doing? Well, we are dominating the top of funnel content, which again, we're not trying to compete with Hormozy or Alex Panetta or Gary Vee. We're not competing with them. But go look at the other contractors near you. Look at the chiropractors, look at the lawyers, look at the dentists, look at any other local service-based business are near you and ask, are they putting out that much content? You can go to these people and you can say, listen, this is how we're going to do it. This is the benefit. The benefit is 1 hour of your time. We dominate social media. We dominate local SEO. We dominate Google Business Profile. We even can start sending out emails with links to the YouTube. We can start adding additional revenue sources because if you start getting YouTube ad revenue, because people are going to want to hear what you have to say, regardless of where they are. I mean, look at me. Most of you didn't know me 90 days ago. And now we're talking on a regular basis. So look at, essentially look at all of the problems that this solves, right? And so again, you're doing this in a very short amount of time. And then, like I've told you all before, you're going to add a VA to it. So then all you're doing is you're doing the interview, you're taking the interview, you're sending it to the VA, you're sending them a list of questions so they know exactly where to look. And then you're also, because you're going to do the first one yourself, work out the kinks. Once you do the second or third one, you're going to record using Descript. You're going to screen record how you go through and edit everything. And then that is going to become your SOP that you give to the VA. The VA edits it. Then they send it back to you in either a Google folder, a Box folder, or using something called WeTransfer, which is just a really fancy way to share that video content. And again, you're going to charge between 1,000 to 2,000 a month. And so the way I like to do it is I vary my pricing based off of how many interviews they want to do, how much content they want post-produced. So maybe it's 1,000 and they want, let's say 1,002 videos. Cool. Here, I can post-produce you this many shorts, this much content, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they do 1,000, or maybe they want 2 interviews, but they want to pay 1,500 or 2,000. Cool. We're going to double the output, right? So depending on how much you pull out, how many deliverables you pull out, always discuss with the client and make sure that you're on the same page, but that will dictate your pricing. So if they say, hey, we want this much, cool, it's going to be this much. Okay, what if we do 1 interview, but we do this much? Cool, it's going to be this much, right? And so you're going to vary based off of how many clips, how long, the type of content, all of that. And you're not going to get out of bed for less than 1,000 extra a month. Now, the cool part, the easy upsell is cool for 1,000, you're going to get all the content, or 1,500, you're going to get all this content, 500 video, 2,000, you get all this content. But if you want for an additional 500, an additional 1,000 a month, we could schedule all this posting out for you. So when you're doing that, you're going to have it automatically scheduled and you're going to explain, hey, we use a certain tool that's going to do all this for you. It's completely hands off for you. So you're essentially coming to these business owners and you're saying, we're going to dominate local top of funnel content, unlike any of your competition. And we're going to essentially, all you're going to have to do is have an interview with me where I'm going to lob you questions and you're going to knock them out of the park. And in the training, what you're going to see is you're going to see there's a way where you can interview them. You're going to see there's a way where they can interview a past client success, where they can interview a colleague, where they can interview someone in their field, where you can just record a conversation. And if you're wondering, is this really something people are doing? Yes. Go look at any Joe Rogan podcast clips. Go look at Gary Vee podcast clips. Go look at Alex Panetta. What do? They have a conversation where they have a keynote speech And then they post produce massive amounts of content that they then turn into clips that then make you think, oh, wow, this guy or gal is super smart and I want to consume more of their content. It's top of funnel content. If you want to get specific, it's top of funnel. It's like extra virgin olive oil. It's simmering on the top and it's pushing into the longer form content, which, as we know, if you're using long form content, it's going to close and convert for you. So you can actually do this interviewing them. You can have them actually just read a list of questions and answer it themselves to the camera in a full sentence. So if they're saying like, what makes a good chiropractor? They're going to respond back and say something like, hey, here's what makes a good chiropractor. You need to look for X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, whatever. Here's what makes a good auto detailer. Here's what makes a good dentist. Here's what makes a good HVAC. We're going to do A, B, C, D. And so they can do an interview style video where the conversation is going to flow naturally just based off conversation, right? Or they can do a self interview and they can essentially interview and just answer their own questions and they can have it be much, much more controlled. Now, again, you're going to charge between 1,000 and 2,000 a month for this. You're still going to have high level, the website, all that. This is an upcharge that you can add. Some people may just want this, but this is something you can upcharge. So you can say, cool, it was 300 a month. We're going to add all this stuff in. And all of a sudden you have a 2,500 a month client and you can essentially package all that together and put it on your website. And that is a really, really easy way. So now I'm going to wrap up and show you how to add all this together. Essentially, once you've been doing this for a little bit, you can come in and you can say, cool, we can set up the website for you with an SEO sprint. That's going to run you about $3,000 to $5,000 for a setup fee. Then every single month, just for the websites that we covered, it's only going to be X amount. However, we can also add in social media and this, and here's the benefit, and here's why, because it helps bridge the gap we mentioned on the discovery call. Hint, hint, look at step 5 training where you cover the closing, and we're going to do everything you want to do. So now we have a $3,000 to $5,000 setup fee, and we have a monthly recurring 1,500 to 2,500 because again, we're adding the social media with the website management. And then of course you can still add whatever else you want to add, like business coaching. I'm going to have on the next call is also going to be focused on high ticket. That's the theme. I'm going to cover how we can build automations and how we can package and sell automations to your client. And you can sell those for, again, another 1,000 to 2,000 a month. And if you're wondering, this is crazy. No, it's not that crazy because think about it. A social media manager, look at the median salary for a social media manager. It's going to be 40 to 60 to 70,000, depending on where you are. You're coming in and saying, cool, we'll do it for 2,000 a month. That is almost a third of what you would pay, right? It's a half to a third of what you would pay for a full-time position. When we come in and put these automations together, guess what the automations are going to do? They're also going to save tremendous amounts of money. So now when they work with you, they get these things automated. That means there's no room for human error. They can fire you whenever they want. So there's no commitment. There's no employment laws. There's no overhead tax. There's no overhead in general because they can get rid of you the moment they want to get rid of you, unless you lock them into periodic contracts. So you can essentially come in, and that's what we're going to be focusing on the month of September is going to be explaining and covering how we can start creating these really high ticket packages. So the SEO sprint with the website creation, we're going to be doing the social media and how we're going to automate that process. And we're going to be doing building automations. And then, of course, we're going to get into how we can start charging more for the organic and paid stuff that we've already discussed. But the SEO sprint is an easy home run. The website creation, if they tell you, hey, I want to own it my own, it's a little bit harder because it's more competitive. But again, that's why I say 1,000 to 1,500. And then you can actually come in and also add in something like the social media. And then someone asked, can you make a white label scribe for this process that we can use for our agencies? Yes, I will be making a white label process that you can repurpose and provide to your agencies. I'm going to use a tool called Scribe House. So as I go through the process, it will take screenshots and then I will add videos that go with it. Depending on how people want it to be, I'm going to have some white label videos coming out. They're not going to be 100% free, just a heads up, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to, scribehow.com. Yeah, I love Scribehow. What I'm going to do with that content is essentially going to have the ability where I'm going to use a tool called 11 Labs, and there's some other AI tools where I'm going to put the white label videos. Either you can have them from me, or if you want, I can put them in your voice. So that's a little bit more of an intricate process, but I can actually take the trainings And you can put these on your website, you can email them to people, or you can hand them off to VAs, and they can all be in your voice if you so choose. So we have a lot of exciting things coming. Um, Again, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, requests, do not hesitate to let me know. But otherwise, that's all I have for today. Does anybody have any questions before we go ahead and wrap up? Awesome. So I think that's everything. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned. Oh, wait, let's see if we have another question. Oh, right on the dot. Yeah, finish right on the dot. I'm getting better. Um, if you guys have any comments, questions, let me know. DM me. What I'm going to be doing is over the weekend, most likely on Monday, it'll probably be Monday, I'm going to have the training post and go live. What I would like from you guys is I want you all to let me know, do you need the step-by-step directions on how to do every single thing? Or am I giving you enough directions? This is your community. So let me know how much guidance you need. Right now, what I'm focused on is I'm focusing on getting out all of the what to do and the how to do it, but the how are more so the broad strokes and where to look. If you need me to create the how trainings and on specific meticulous details of how to do every single little thing, again, there's tons of YouTube videos, but if that's something that you guys would prefer to see, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to keep barreling through, telling you guys what to do and the broad strokes of how to do it and where to find more information. Um, and then I will double back. I will start filling out the implementation steps like Naman just asked. But I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day, whether you're stateside or overseas. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, wherever you are. And yeah, we'll meet again next week, and you should see that training first thing on Monday. Have a good one.